That's a few for lunch here. Finally the crappie are hitting under the docks, so I've caught several today, but I got a few keepers here. I think I'm gonna clean them and have them for lunch or dinner. There's the biggest one I caught. It's right at 13 inches, so that's a good crappie for around here.
It's beautiful.
There's another one that's about 10.5 inches. There's a little white bass. I'm gonna try it. Everybody says they're good to eat, so I'm gonna find out. There you go. That's a few this morning, so I'm gonna do a little work around here, and then I'm gonna get back out this afternoon and see if I can't catch a mess to fillet later on.
Hey y'all, this is Val from Our Forever Farm. That was Sweet Hunter. I'm frying up some potatoes to go with those fish that he caught. Nothing like fried potatoes to us. I'm also making a quick batch of Hushpuppies. I didn't deep fry these, so they look a little more like cornbread patties, but they're Hushpuppies, I promise you. Same recipe, and you can see a video on that if you'd like to. I'll link it in the description box. These were delicious. I just breaded our fish with a little cornmeal and salt and pepper and just fried them in the same pan that I did the Hushpuppies and the fried potatoes in. No sense in messing up a pan. This was a delicious meal. I would have made some slaw, but I didn't have any cabbage, and I'm trying not to go to the store. I thought Sweet Hunter deserved a good dessert for catching all those fish. He ended up catching more that afternoon, so I'm whipping him up a chocolate pie here. Good. The fish good? Yeah, I thought it was good. I tasted of it.
So we're out of fish, right?
We were out of fish. Well, the pie was delicious. The crust didn't look so pretty, but the pie was delicious. Here, we had some leftover hot dog buns, and so I like to make breakfast sandwiches with the leftover buns, and I'll freeze them just to do that. So I just make some scrambled eggs, and I grill my buns just in an iron skillet with a little olive oil and butter, and I just scramble the eggs. One thing I'm not out of is cheese, so I thought pepper jack cheese would be good on this, and so I sliced some of that up. In the meantime, I had baked some bacon on some parchment paper and just set it aside. Added some mayonnaise to the sandwich and put it in the oven to melt the cheese and warm it up. Then I cut up my bacon where it won't be in strips in the sandwich and it's easier to eat. And I just added those to the sandwich. It was really, really good. Some of the bacon I had left over, I just put in a Ziploc in the refrigerator, and the rest I froze. Here, I had taco shells in the freezer. I had ground deer already cooked in the freezer, so we had tacos and all the fixings. And this day, I was making some soup, and while I was cutting the okra, I decided I'd fry Sweet Hunter up a pan of okra. And, of course, you got to have cornbread and all the goodies to go with it. And you've got to have mashed potatoes with okra. What's amazed me about this pantry challenge is at the same time I'm using things off my shelf, which is rotating, my pantry, I've also been inspired to make things and can them, which I love winter canning. I just love using what we have and not wasting anything, and canning is probably my favorite thing to do, especially since I got my electric canner. That's wonderful. And this roaster that the girls got me, I have used it so much. I love it. It's very nice. I ended up with 8 quarts and 8 pints.
And our cornbread's ready. I like to get mine as dark as I can on the top.
And this is the reason why I like it dark on the top, because it's darker on the bottom. Oh yeah, and I fried some Spam too to go with that okra and mashed potatoes and cornbread. It was so good. I don't cook Spam a lot, but I always have it in my pantry for an emergency. And I don't know, when I saw that okra and I saw that can of Spam, it just looked good. I ran over to my neighbor's and took her some homemade soup, and look what I came home with. I mean, jalapenos, I've got jam, I've got blueberries. I think that's a summer squash. I start to say peaches. That's apples and salsa, pickles and relish, and green beans. And look, pecans. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Rhonda. What a blessing. If somebody gives you a jar of canned food, it is love, because it is hard work. I'm showing you just a little corner of my pantry. I did some homemade soup and some pinto beans, a little bit of jam. I've got 2 big projects coming up next week that I'm very excited about. But what's amazed me the most is that I'm in a pantry challenge, which means I'm using what I have, but I'm also building my pantry. Here I'm showing you my vanilla. I made it a few weeks before Christmas, and it's taking longer than I thought, so I've ordered some more vanilla beans to add to it. Y'all, we were blessed with some sweet friends that came and had lunch with us today and spent the afternoon. Thank you, Debbie and Kirk. We enjoyed it so much. Here I'm browning some deer meat and making a red sauce for beef enchiladas, and I'll have that link in the description box to give you that recipe. I failed to take a picture of them after they baked, but here's before they baked. They were very good, and we're having them for leftovers tomorrow. Here I'm icing a chocolate cake for our dessert, and it was delicious. I'm having it for breakfast in the morning. Pantry challenge. Thank y'all for watching, and y'all go cook something.